The Dead Pair Podcast is fueled by Fiocchi.
Paul?
Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast, coming in hot with everything you want to hear about sporting clays.
Guy Fieri.
How are you, gentlemen? Thanks for having me.
Anthony Matteries Jr., how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well.
Welcome back, David Radulovich.
That's a net positive 30 minutes. Brad Kidd.
Corey Cruz. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Now I feel awkward.
With your hosts, Jason
One
Rambo
more Red Bull for you.
and Sean Alley.
Woo, yeah!
Christmas.
Let's do it.
Often imitated but never duplicated. It's the Dead Pair Podcast. And now, it's showtime.
Welcome back, Mr. Large and in Charge. What's up, my friend?
We are here once again, ready to lay the smackdown on sporting clays.
And you know what? Before we get into our intro here, I think we should go ahead and do our tourney talk real quick.
Okay.
Because we have got a lot to get to, folks. Casey Chase really loaded us up this week with all the tournaments that have been released, and I want to keep this right here at the beginning, so if somebody wants to back it up and hear it, they can. So if you're ready, Sean.
I'll give it the old college try here. If I mess up, I'll let you take part two.
It's Tourney Talk. Brought to you by Score Chaser.
All right, this week's tourney talk. First up, these shoots are now open for registration on Score Chaser. Colorado Cup at Silver Creek Sporting Club, July 14th through the 16th. Kentucky State at Elk Creek Hunt Club, August 18th through the 20th. Mississippi State at Providence Hill, May 11th through the 14th. Virginia State at Arrowhead Gun Club, June 9th through the 11th. Alaska at Birchwood Recreation Shooting, June the 14th through the 25th. And then we've got New Mexico State at Creekside Clays, August 16th through the 20th. Utah State at Big Hollow, July 5th through the 9th. And the Montana State changed clubs and is now a part of the Western Challenge at Gallatin Sporting Clays, and that is August 17th through the 20th. So a lot of tournaments there if you guys are interested and can go to those areas.
For sure. And speaking of tournaments, that's what's really cool about this episode. Kind of cool that Casey gave us all these coming into this, because we're talking to Florida Swing tonight. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Sean, you and I have always gone to Jack Link's Cup, and I'm just trying to figure out how I can talk the wife into spending a little extra time and hitting a tournament before or after, because, man, in January, late January, going all the way through February and into March, Florida has some really big shoots down there.
I don't think you're going to have much trouble, Jay. It's cold and terrible up here in Ohio, and it's warm and nice down there in Florida. I really don't think it's going to be a hard sell.
Well, when I say talk the wife into it, I mean, I got to talk her into, staying at a club for a while. But
right, and then writing the extra financial check out for the added time.
Well,
right?
that's the. I didn't want to bring that up, but yes, that's the talk the wife into it part. Yeah. Trust me, she's wanting the worst. She's still looking at houses. We're trying to move down there, but
I know you are.
No, some really cool stuff coming up here tonight. Just a reminder, I want to let everybody know we will have a video release on February the 16th. That's a Thursday, but that will be in lieu of our podcast. Right. Sean and I will be down at the Jack Links at Okeechobee. Mm-hmm. And so instead of having a podcast that week, we're actually going to release a really cool video for you guys. I think you guys will like it. We did kind of a, we've had some people mention it. We kind of thought it was a great idea, and then Sean and I kind of took off with it from there, but we're going to do a what's in your bag. Mm-hmm. And basically, Sean and I both got new shooting bags and just wanted to show what we carry around and, like some feedback on it. What do you guys carry that we don't? Or maybe we forgot something, but share it with us. We'd love to put it up on our Dead Pair Public group page and get some more ideas going.
Yeah, I think it'd be a fun time. I think it'll be good video, and then people will be able to see, if they're curious, what you carry, what I carry, and does it really matter?
Yeah. But this Florida Swing we're getting ready to get into here, part of the reason why these shoots stand out so much more, one, I mean, obviously the allure with Jack Links is the big purse, right, Sean?
Absolutely.
But anybody that lives, I guess you could say, north of the Mason-Dixon, mm-hmm. knows what we're talking about with weather this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And, what a prime opportunity for these great clubs in Florida to host a big shoot, and they do a great job of it.
Yeah, it's not a tough sell. I mean, you get away for a little while, get to experience some fun and sun, and then also you get to shoot while you're down there. Because, I mean, let's face it, up here, me and you struggle to get out in January, February, and the early parts of March because the weather's just not nice.
Right.
Period.
Well, today's a prime example. I mean, it hit 55 degrees today, and that's unheard of for Ohio.
But tomorrow it's going to be a high of 30.
But tomorrow's a high of 30, and then for the next week and a half, the highs are in the 20s.
Right.
So, we've talked about this a million times. You can't make excuses.
No.
But it makes it a little bit more difficult and a little less pleasurable.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier on the body.
Right. But, hey, let's get on to it. We got some really cool clubs we need to talk to here. They're going to tell us all about their club, what they're offering at these shoots, both for payout, amenities, the whole 9 yards. And what's really important, and I can't stress this enough, even if you can't make these shoots, in fact, some of them were a little late to the punch here on this episode, but even if you can't make these shoots, this will help you plan for next year.
Right.
So, well, Sean, you ready?
Do it, man. Let's get it going.
Let's get to it.
Okay, joining us back again, Bruce Potter from Blackjack. How you doing, Bruce?
Great, man. How are you guys?
Oh, man. Wishing we were down there.
Yeah. Well, you're missing beautiful weather.
I know it.
We know it. In Ohio in January, it's not really all that nice. So,
yeah. Imagine.
Well, Bruce, you got the Blackjack Open coming up from January 27th to the 29th. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. We're getting really excited about it. Everything's coming along. We got this shoot kind of a little bit of a late start, but that's okay. We're learning as we go. So this is the first Blackjack Open multi-day event since I've been there. I've been there, I guess, a little over 2 years now. So we just decided to take things slow and steady. We're not having fee tasks. We're just going to have a 200 bird main event, a 100 bird prelim, and we're going to have a super sporting event.
Nice.
And kind of my theory behind that, if you're going to do something, you want people to walk away and to remember good things.
Sure.
So
Sure.
You're better off not to bite off more than you can chew and make sure everybody has a good time. Things aren't always about making money. Sometimes you just want to give back to the people, give back to the shooters, and give them a good time and make sure everything runs smoothly and timely. And that's what we're shooting for. So it's coming along. So we're just about ready for it, and we're gonna set some more targets here first of the week, and we should be ready to roll for it.
Well, Bruce, I know we're a little late to the game. I mean, especially with you being the first of the, I guess you could say, the Florida swing.
Right.
Do you know what your dates are going to be for next year? Or, I mean, a close roundabout.
Yep. I do. I'm going to keep the same dates. It's going to be the last weekend in January.
Okay.
So we're gonna hold on to that, and hopefully, if everything goes good this year, bigger next year, and we're going to add some more events. And I know some of the guys that I'd talked to would have really liked to have seen FTASC in it, but this year that just wasn't in the plans here. So we've really been kind of hyper focused on growing the club. And like I say, making sure we do everything top notch. I mean, we've got such a beautiful place. We just want the service to match the terrain.
Yeah.
So we're highly concerned about that, but we're also highly motivated. I mean, we want to grow this shoot. We hold a lot of large events all year long. We do, especially in season. We do corporate fundraisers. Ronald McDonald. We even have kind of our own, I don't know if I want to call it in-house charity event. We're connected and highly motivated for a organization called Project Hope in Ocala, which is about 30 minutes north of us. And they're a housing and teaching organization where they take homeless women with children in, and they teach them skills they need and help them get a house and help them get away in life. And the great thing about Blackjack, a lot of people don't realize this, when it was started by a couple guys who really wanted to help the community. So their goal is not always on making money. Their goal is on being there to help people raise money for needs. So we do a ton of charity events.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Of course, with me being a shooter, a registered shooter, also part of my heart's with a NCAA. So it's a good thing.
Gotcha.
Well, Bruce, I covered a little bit of Blackjack back when we first started. It was one of our first episodes. I shot the Florida State down there. You're in Sumterville. Can you tell everybody what the closest airport or hotel is going to be to you?
Oh, absolutely. We're in Sumterville, Florida. We are about 8 minutes from Interstate 75, depending on traffic. We're 7 minutes from the Florida Turnpike. We have the villages. If you haven't been here in a while, we used to be near the villages. Pretty soon, they've already broken ground. They're putting streets in. They're putting schools in. pretty soon we're kind of like going to be in the middle of the villages. So they're building all around us. So there's just tons and tons of restaurants, and there's some great hotels. There's the Brownwood Hotel Resort and Spa that's just fabulous. There's many places to stay within 15, 20 minutes of us. So we've got a fantastic location. We're 45 minutes from Orlando, about 45 minutes from Ocala, and then the same from Tampa. So we're kind of in a triangle between some of the major cities here in our area.
So any of those airports would probably be good ones to fly into?
Yeah. Well, you can fly into Gainesville. You can fly into Orlando International.
Okay.
They all are within 45 minutes of the club. It's all, good roads, interstate and turnpike. So.
Gotcha. And what about, do you guys offer any amenities on the grounds as far as camping or lodging?
Right now we have camping with no hookups. We have in the works a campground that we're designing, and hopefully sometime next year or before the 2024 it'll be in. So we're going to put in some utilities, and we've got that mapped out. But we've got an awful lot of property. We've got plenty of room for RVs, campers, campgrounds. Anybody that wants to come that's self-contained as of now. So we've really got room for everybody. But we've got a piece of property in the back that they just went in and cleared out for us and burned it off. They put a big elevated road in that we've got plans for another course. So it's going to be really neat. We're going to be able to shoot targets over our head off the top of the road, and then get on top of the road and shoot targets under our feet. So
neat.
It's going to be really unique. I'll give you guys some pictures of it here when we get done. But
that's the one part of Florida that's actually got some elevation changes to it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of it. A lot of it's man-made there. People don't realize that, but it is elevation. So I mean, it doesn't matter who made it. But it's a beautiful place. The vegetation, over the years, 60 years or whatever, it's grown back, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. We have a full fleet of golf carts. We have, of course, the big elevated 5 stand. We have 3 courses plus a super sporting course, trap and skeet field. We have a small pro shop. We don't sell a whole lot of stuff, but we sell really good stuff. So, we sell bear pelt shooting vests inside. We have rhino chokes. We stock quite a few and sell those. So we've, of course, T-shirts, hats, all likes of that, shotgun shells. We have a big stock of Avci shotgun shells that we're partnering with, and we're doing real well with those. We like them extremely well. So
you are going to have plenty of ammo for this shoot, right?
Oh, yeah, we've got tons of rounds. We've got plenty of ammo. Plenty of 12 gauge. We've got 20 gauge. Of course, the sub gauge stuff we don't have much of, but neither does anybody else.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, is there anything we're forgetting, Bruce, here? Anything else you want to mention before we get off here?
Well, a couple things. If you haven't been out, come see us. If you're coming to Florida, we'd love to have you. Even if you're not going to shoot the Blackjack Open, we'd love for you to come out and meet us. Even if you don't want to shoot, come out. We'll jump on a golf cart with you. We'll take you on a tour of the property and let you see how beautiful it is. For those that are listening in our area, if you don't realize it already, we're kind of proud of our SCTP team. We have the Blackjack Smoking Aces, and we're really, really proud of them. They're doing really well. And just 3 weeks ago, we instituted a lady shooting team that's the Blackjack Girls with Guns. So if you're a lady and you're interested in shooting, maybe you've never shot, and you want to come out, there's no pressure. We've got some ladies that'll help you on your way, and it's a load of fun. If you're a youth and you want to get involved, we'd love to have you in our team.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, I think we've covered most of the basics. Last chance. Anything else you want to throw out there, Bruce?
No, just thank you guys for what you're doing. I appreciate it. And y'all are a big help to the clubs, getting some information out, and big help to the shooters getting information out. And I appreciate what you guys do. It's pretty awesome.
We do as much as we can, so we appreciate it. I wish we could do it for everybody, but obviously there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are y'all coming?
We'll be down there.
I think the 10th is when I'm flying down.
Yeah. I think we're both landing right around the middle of the Caribbean. So we're heading to Jack Links this year, but next year we're looking to expand our horizons a little bit, if you will. So.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, call me when you get here, and I'll be at whatever shoot you're going to be at. I'm going to be at all of them. So call me when you get here, and I'll let you buy me lunch.
That sounds great.
Deal.
Absolutely.
I'll let Jason pay.
Yes.
Gonna let him pay?
That's right.
Yes. It's good. Hey,
he's lucky. He's lucky. I don't eat as much as I used to.
Well, just don't mind it if the credit card says Pro Sign Studio on it. So. So,
Thank you, guys.
hey, thanks, Bruce.
Yeah,
We appreciate
great catching up with you, Bruce. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The Dead Pair.
All right. On the phone with us, the host for the RC Cup, the South Florida Shooting Club, Miss Emma House. Emma, how are you, ma'am?
I'm well, thank you, and thank you for having us.
Emma, it's great that you guys were able to join us on this podcast. Mick is there as well, Mick Howells, and also Ed Seisinger. Is that correct?
Yes, we are
Okay.
here in the office.
Gotcha. Well, me and Jason were lucky enough to go down there last year and shoot at your club. It's a beautiful facility. But you guys have had some changes since we've last been there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Our most recent change here, and probably a fairly impactful one, Dave has moved on, and Mick and I are heading up the club with the help of our assistant manager, Ed. And we're looking forward to having the RC Cup here. The event is pretty much sold out, so we're looking forward to a big shoot and welcoming everybody and having a successful shoot and a great week.
You know, Emma, even though your shoot is sold out, I think it's important that people hear about this because they're going to make their plans for next year. You know, all of us up here in the frozen North Tundra look forward to getting down to South Florida this time of year, enjoying the beautiful weather, the beautiful facilities, and the great targets. Do you know if you've got dates yet set for next year or not?
Our date this year for the RC Cup, which is our next thing, is February 2nd through the 5th. Typically what happens with the FFCA, unless there's a big date change or something happens, you know, sometimes there's a bit of a shake-up. We'll get the same weekend, but the days will be like a day or two off because of the calendar rollover, if that makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Emma, because we were down there, I know people can look it up. Remind people where your club is and what's the best way to get a hold of you in order to get scheduled on this tournament. Are you guys running everything through Score Chaser or another app?
We use Score Chaser, and if people are struggling to get registered, some of our guys are not really into the techie side of things. They just call the club and we can add them in, switch them up, put them in whatever events they want to shoot with their friends, and it works really well on the backside. But you know, there's always somebody that needs a little bit more help. So we're happy to help if we need it. They can just call the club. We're right off of I-95, Martin Highway. It's pretty easy to get to.
Okay. And as far as like amenities close by, what's the closest airport and what's the major city there for like hotels and things like that?
Palm Beach is probably the biggest close airport, and then there's a small airport in Stewart. There's beaches, hotels, fishing. There's all kinds of stuff to do and to see. There's the Navy SEAL Museum. There's the Museum of Art that's up in Vero. It's about an hour away. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, within 20 minutes, 30-minute ride of the club, we have probably 1,000 rooms available via hotels and all sorts of restaurants, just about any cuisine that you can think of within 20 minutes, a half-hour ride from the club.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
And do you guys offer any camping or anything on site there?
We have approximately 12 sites that we have on 12 camping spots on site with electric. We share water, but we don't have a bunch more. There are some local campgrounds within also a half hour of the club also, with great amenities also for the bigger buses and such like that.
Now, I know everybody's going to be asking, what about like golf carts? And of course, the big question everybody's going to be asking is, what about ammo?
Yeah, we have approximately 35 regular member carts that we'll put out, and we also have 35 other carts that we will have for rental also. So basically, we have about 70 cart rental fleet that we have on site. Okay.
And then you've got plenty of ammo in stock for this tournament?
Well, yeah, we're working on that, making sure we secure all that. Sub gauges, as everybody knows, are a little tough to get, but 12 gauge ammo should be plentiful.
Gotcha. And I'm going to take it that Mr. Mick Howells is the one setting the targets for this event?
So that's correct. I set all the targets for the event, and we've got ProMatic bringing us some traps, so they'll be on hand to help with the maintenance side. But we're pretty good about the maintenance anyway.
Yeah, I mean, when Sean and I were down there, it seemed like you guys kept things in tip-top order for sure. Mick, when you're, just a real quick off-topic question, when you're setting for an event like this, you normally set a little tougher than you normally do, or do you just try to still keep it fair for everyone?
No, I think just keeping it fair for everybody. Our regular tournaments are pretty stout anyway, so I don't think we need to be much more difficult than that.
Right.
I typically like to have the scores in the low to mid 90s for the winners. So it should be the same. It'll be somewhere in the same. I don't believe in making it too difficult.
Excellent.
Gotcha. And how many guys or how many shooters do you usually average on a tournament? I'm not asking for any specific numbers, but how many people can you expect to see at this tournament?
We're over 300. We're between 300 and 400 right now, closer to 400 than 300. Of course, there'll be changes, as we go along and things happen. And we can handle more shooters. It's just what we squatted for with this event. It's still a growing event. So we're kind of trying to grow with it and not run before we can walk.
Gotcha.
Or
No.
walk before we can run.
Yeah, totally understand. Totally understand. And what about the payouts? Can you guys give us just a quick breakdown, like HOA runner-up and maybe the leads in each class, or how are you guys doing the payouts this year?
Looking for right now, we're doing $30,000 in guaranteed payouts and all.
I believe it's all in on Score Chaser.
Well, are we forgetting anything? Is there anything you guys want to add?
No, just we've got more events this year than normal. And I may get somebody to help me with some of the events because I'm kind of like, I think we've got 10 events in total, and that's an awful lot of target setting, so I may get somebody to help me with that.
Well, I know a fella. Don't tease me now. I mean, if you need some help down there, I'm always looking for an excuse to get out of this weather, so.
All right, apparently we had some technical difficulties down there at South Florida. Not sure what happened. We've tried to get back in touch with them, but I think we've got all the pertinent information out there, Jason, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can tag everything in the podcast description and put some links in there.
Sure, we'll put their website on there, but again, 99.9% of the information you need is going to be right there on Score Chaser. Again, we'll have the club's website there so you can contact them if you need to. Sean, we got to get on to our next club. We got a lot to cover here, so let's do it. All right, for the next round of the stop, we've got Mr. Brian Palmer from Vero Beach. Brian, how are you, sir?
I am doing fantastic. How are you guys?
We're great, Brian. We're looking forward to getting down there into the warmer weather. So you got the Caribbean Classic coming up. That's February 6th through the 13th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir. It's a long one.
Good deal. Good deal. How many people do you expect usually at this shoot?
We're looking between 550 and 600. We're currently at 553.
That's that's a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Brian, let's start with, tell everybody where your club is at and what the closest city is for like flights and hotels, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. We're in Vero Beach, Florida. So we are east of 95. Closest airport, Melbourne, West Palm Beach, and Orlando are all within 2 hours of the gun club.
Okay.
Gotcha. Now, Brian, do you guys offer any on-site camping or lodging there at the club?
We do dry camping. Unfortunately for this one, with our limited space, it is currently sold out. If you're planning to camp, just give us a call and we can see if we can get you on a waiting list. But at this point, we are sold out. Gotcha.
And then what about the usual questions like, how about golf carts and ammunition? You guys going to have plenty of those, and what's available?
Yeah, we have plenty of golf carts available. We have ammo. We have a shell barn with exclusively Federal and Remington shells. We have a shell phone going on right now where people can call in and reserve their ammo up until about the week before the shoot.
Nice.
Wow.
And then we have we have pallets of ammo, so nobody's going to go without ammo.
That's
Cool.
awesome. Well, who's setting the targets for this event?
We're using the same crew we've used for the last 3 years. Myself, my right hand, Kirk Perkins, who's our day-to-day target setter there, and then Ben Wise from Maryland.
Okay. I know this is a big reach, but do you guys have any plans for next year? Because a lot of people hearing this, plus we're kind of late to the game getting the podcast out, but a lot of people hearing this may want to come down next year and plan their vacation around it. Do you know what the dates would be yet?
With the Florida shoots, we'll be on the same weekend. It depends on how the dates fall. Our FSCA, or the Florida State Association, grandfather in the dates. So it's just rotating date schedule. So we'll be following the RC Cup and before the Jack Links, just like we are every year.
Okay.
Usually it depends on how dates fall and how everything loads up, but we will certainly be announcing registration for 2024 at the completion of 2023. So we will be starting to take entries pretty much as soon as we finish up.
Well, I know you guys are on Score Chaser, and Casey does a great job of letting us know when the big shoots come out, so we'll make sure and announce that for you for sure.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job of getting word out, and we certainly appreciate you guys throwing us in there as well.
No, not at all.
Absolutely. Hey, is there anything you want to add to this? Are we forgetting anything?
Oh, it's just, it's Florida in February. It's a great time to be there. Our shoot's a little different where it's more of a relaxed vibe. If you look at the amount of days, it's stretched out quite a bit. We're on less than 60 acres, so we have to spread the events out. So it's more of a relaxed vibe where you're not cramming one event after the next. There's limited days to shoot each event, so it's really a unique kind of relaxed, good time where everybody kind of hangs out with each other, and it's not like you're trying to stuff everything into a few days because it's just not possible to do so.
Right. No, that sounds awesome. I know that your shoot is one of the ones that I'm trying to incorporate into a 2-week venture next year, but we'll see. I mean, it's not hard to convince the wife. Like you said, it's Florida in February, so it's just dollars and cents.
We're 20 minutes from the beach. Yep, 20 minutes from the beach.
Oh, such a hard sell. A hard sell.
That sounds terrible, Brian. I don't know how you deal with it, buddy. I really don't.
It's a tough life, but it's we pay for it in the summertime, but it's really good here in the winter. So
awesome.
Gotcha. Well, Brian, we thank you so much for taking some time and giving the information to our listeners. One last chance. Anything else we're forgetting, or we got everything covered?
I think that's it. We just look forward to seeing everybody in a few weeks now, and look forward to showing everybody a good time.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Brian. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. See you, Brian.
Yep. Bye-bye.
The Dead Pair.
Okay, on the phone with us right now is Hunter Qualls from Quail Creek. Now, we had Dave Kelly scheduled, and he had a personal emergency. I'm not sure what's going on there, so hopefully everything's going to work out right. Hunter, thank you so much for taking this call. If you can tell us a little bit about your position there at Quail Creek, and also Dave just got the club manager position there. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. And just for clarity's sake, so I actually work with Jack Links specifically, but we have an interest in Quail Creek and more specifically with the event that we're going to talk about. So I manage operations for the JL Cup, which is the event that we're going to host February 14th.
Gotcha.
Well, one of the big allures to the Jack Links Cup is the purse. I mean, obviously we're talking, what is it, $200,000 this year, right?
Yeah, correct. We bumped it up from 150 last year to 200K in guaranteed payouts. That's correct.
That is amazing. And we hear all kinds of rumors floating around, but we heard bigger and better again next year. But so tell us, if you would, let's start with the basics, Hunter. I mean, you're located in Okeechobee. What's going to be the closest airport, hotels, that kind of thing for everybody to fly into and stay at?
Yeah, so if you're flying commercial, you're probably wanting to navigate yourself to Orlando, and you got about 90-minute drive south. Otherwise, I believe you could fly into Fort Pierce as well if you're in a smaller aircraft. Where we are, which the ranch is in a fairly rural corner just north of the lake. There's not a whole lot of options, so your closest communities would be Okeechobee or Fort Pierce directly.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, let's talk a little bit about the on-grounds. Jason and I have been there several times. Obviously, Quail Creek is a wonderful, beautiful course, and you always have fantastic targets and fantastic presentations. But you guys also offer on-site camping, if I'm not mistaken on that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we do have several options for on-site lodging. So there is camping that we offer. Most of the participants that come out to this event like to use their own side-by-side rigs when touring the course. So typically we'll see a lot of folks with fifth wheels or toy haulers that will pull onto one of our adjacent lots and camp right on site. Beyond that, there are plenty of amenities on the property. I have to say, you are right, it is a gorgeous place to spend your time. So when not operating as an event hub for the JL Cup specifically, there is on-site lodging by way of smaller cabins, houses, and a few outposts that can be rented for members only.
Okay. And you guys have golf cart rentals available, and is there going to be plenty of ammo available for this shoot?
Yeah. So
Okay.
one thing we have no shortage of is ammo. There will be a pile of it. And yes, we do provide golf carts. So if you're traveling into the event and you don't have transportation that you're providing for yourself, we have solutions for you. So do not be concerned if you show up with just a shotgun and you're ready to roll. We have everything else on site to take care of you.
Gotcha. Now, this is going to be released fairly soon. The Jack Links Cup is February 14th through the 19th. Do you have any idea about the numbers of attendance you're going to have right now for the shooters?
Yeah. So, last year we hosted, I want to say just south of 800 shooters. This year, I believe we're already up over 1,000. We're really pushing it to max capacity.
Wow.
We have modified the course slightly to make sure that we can accommodate that throughput. But I'll tell you, putting 1,000 shooters through 5 days of shoots is no small undertaking. And certainly when Doug Vine is setting the course, you guys are familiar with him and what he does.
Oh, yeah.
It takes some time to push people through that. So operationally, we've scaled up about 30% to make sure that we can accommodate that throughput. And we're really looking forward to inviting everybody out and showing them the amenities of the property.
Well, for the people that can't make it this year and they want to put this on their radar for next year, can you tell us, is there any big plans you can share, or do you know what the dates might be for next year?
I think we're probably going to keep it right around second week of February. That seems to work quite well, given the adjacent properties that also have shoots in that region. I don't know that we have put a pin on specific dates. My gut tells me we're probably looking at a 5-day shoot again next year.
Okay.
But really, we've been kind of reacting to this. When we hosted for the first time last year, it was a lot of learning for us on trying to figure out the space and how we can enhance the space. We had tremendous feedback from a very positively executed year one. Which is where, Troy, our CEO, had agreed to invest even further in the property to make sure that we can continue growing it. I think again, this year, we're going to sit back, look, note the areas that we can continue to improve on, spots that we can maximize, and then very likely we'll move into planning mode again to make sure that we can put a pin in dates and start to share with people the length and expectations of the event for 24.
Gotcha. I know the property's beautiful. Any big changes happening this year that maybe didn't happen last year? You guys still having the big banquet on Saturday night?
Yes. So we'll have a banquet Saturday and Sunday nights for the award ceremony. So last year, what you saw was basically us converting our pavilion into sort of a display area where we ran the award ceremony, and the night before we had a big banquet and we served prime rib. So we're going to run the same play there, except we've brought in additional structures to accommodate a much larger audience to make sure that we can entertain and engage everybody. So once again, looking forward to feeding everybody, looking forward to distributing a bunch of trophies for the truly top tier talent that comes out to shoot the course. And then, last year we had a whole slew of vendors that assisted us with making this a truly dynamic event. I will tell you that we have a significant increase in our vendor participation. So with that, I think some of the services that you'll find that we're providing to our audience have greatly increased as well this year.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you're going to bring back the Bloody Mary bar, because I tell you what, I found out that Jack Link's dill pickle mix is some of the best Bloody Mary mix I've ever had in my life, and that was me, and many other people felt the same way. So hopefully you'll have that back again.
and that's one of the things we should talk about real quick here. I know you guys do, and remind me because I'm drawing a blank. You guys do the fruit juices on the course like a lot of these other Florida clubs do. Well,
yep.
Do you remember the name of that?
That's Natalie's, isn't it?
Natalie's, yes.
Yep, that is Natalie's Juice, yes. And they are planning on joining us for a portion of the event again this year. Yep, they do run a tremendous sampling initiative, and they add a ton of value to our event. We really appreciate them as partners.
Yeah, so everybody listening, they've got fresh juices all the way throughout the course. That was just awesome.
Not to mention lots of nice beef jerky snacks.
Oh, and
yeah.
they do know this company named Jack Link's that makes beef jerky, and they had plenty of that on the course as well. But I mean, how cool,
Yeah,
I mean,
very cool, very cool.
And a lot of these clubs down in Florida do that kind of stuff, and it's awesome. I think it's really a thank you to the shooters, really.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody taking time out of their week to come out and shoot with us and see the property. And you're not wrong at all. If you go hungry at our event, then something's terribly wrong in general. Yes. Because we're going to make sure we're feeding you. So there's jerky peppered throughout. Every participant gets a pretty phenomenal gift bag for joining our event. And yeah, so we've got tremendous support from the vendor community who's coming out to help us, but really want to stress the fact that if you're out shooting with us, you should not have an empty stomach, and we'll make darn sure of that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And I can't see anybody having a bad time there at
Oh,
all.
heck no.
But Hunter, thank you very, very much for joining us. Appreciate it. And we know it was last minute. We best wishes to Dave, whatever the situation is. Thoughts and prayers to him. Hope everything's okay.
Yeah, are we leaving anything out, Hunter?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if there's any other commentary that I would add just from the brand side, one of the things that folks, best know our brand for is our character Sasquatch. So as you are roaming around the course on your golf cart, I just encourage you to keep your eyes peeled.
For
That's
sure.
awesome.
Well, thank you again, Hunter. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you down there.
Gentlemen, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Thank you, Hunter. Take care.
Yep. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay. Joining us on the phone right now from Bradford is Pat Welch. Pat, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Got Jason sitting next to me.
Well, now, Pat, you're hosting the Florida Challenge, which is February 23rd through the 26th. That's correct?
That's correct, yes.
Can you tell us what people can expect at your shoot?
Yeah, they can expect a good shoot with challenging targets.
There you go.
Tournament grade. Yes, sir. We don't I know you've heard about Bradford. We're not in the habit of setting a bunch of fluffy, easy stuff. I don't think that does anybody any good. And I've been a competitive shooter for a long time, and man, I got just books and books of targets that I draw up, and me and some other guys set them here at Bradford, and we put a lot into it,
Well, that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
For our listeners out there, Pat, can you tell us or give us a rundown? Where's Bradford located, and then what's the biggest town and what's nearby, like as far as airport, hotels, and all that stuff?
The largest town is Gainesville. It's about 20 minutes away. The airport's probably 15 minutes away, the Gainesville airport.
Okay.
Gainesville has many, many, many very nice restaurants and motels. And of course, the closest town is Stark, which is about 12 miles away.
Okay.
Has several motels, some pretty nice ones. As a matter of fact, by the time the challenge comes, I think they're opening a brand new Holiday Inn Express, which should be really nice. So we have plenty of room. Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of areas for people to stay. We got some really nice restaurants that are very close, and no troubles there.
Yeah. Now, what about golf carts, ammo, that kind of thing? You got plenty for everybody?
We'll have all that available to the shooters, no question.
Okay. Do you know what your payouts are going to be for this shoot?
They're online. They're on our website, but they're respectable payouts for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about people that want to camp? Do you guys offer any on-site camping on your grounds?
We do. We have a campground and we have dry camping, but right now they're all full.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we have those sell out pretty quick. Really, even for the state shoot that's in April here, we already have most all of our campsites rented.
Well, what kind of numbers are you expecting for this shoot? I mean, you have it year after year, but how many shooters do you usually expect?
The challenge, we probably have around 200 in the main event.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we were hoping to increase this shoot to 300, but it hasn't worked out for us, and we've kind of maintained around 200 for the last several years. So if we have 200 shooters, I'll be happy. I don't have any bad things to say about that.
Gotcha. And then who's setting the targets for you? Are you doing it?
No, I did for a lot of years, but I'm not going to do it. The target setters will be Joe Skull, Rick Hemingway, and then, of course, I'll set some of the prelims, and Rick Hilger and myself and Glenn Wilson and the sub-gauge and that kind of stuff. We'll take care of a lot of that. But the main events will be by Joe Skull and Rick Hemingway.
We know they can throw some targets, and that's right.
Yes.
So.
No doubt. They're pretty experienced, both of them.
Well, you wouldn't happen to know what your dates are going to be for next year, do you?
For next year, it'll be the last weekend in February.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. I mean, we're just trying to give people an opportunity to plan on this. If they can't make it this year, maybe they're hearing about this shoot and get excited and put it on their calendar and plan vacation for next year.
Good deal. Well, they'll have a good time because we have a good time.
Awesome. What am I forgetting? Is there anything you want to add about this shoot or your club? Anything you want anybody to know? I mean, obviously,
we got a big pavilion for people to eat in. We have excellent meals on Saturday night. I have a caterer that's second to none. We generally do prime rib or ribeye steaks or something like that. We do shootouts on Saturday night. Dick Phillips shootout for kids. I mean, we give money back to the shooters all the time. So, I mean, it's it's a fun time. You can tell everybody they'll enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure and put a link to your website on our podcast description. Anybody wants to look you up. Now, for registration, you are on Score Chaser, correct?
Yes, that's correct. On Score Chaser. Yes, sir.
Well, Pat, it's been wonderful talking to you. We really hope you guys have a big turnout. And again, if the people are listening now can't make it this year, hopefully they'll put it in their calendar to try to see you guys next year.
Well, good deal. If they come once, they'll be back.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Okay, bud.
All right, Pat, you guys have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
All right,
sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, what do you think, Sean Alley? I mean, we just touched on 5 awesome clubs that are throwing big shoots in the month of January and February.
I just realized that I need to make more money. I need to be able to take off more time from work.
I've been telling you to get those winning lottery numbers.
I keep trying. I just haven't found the right
Epic
numbers.
failed. You had one job.
I had one job. Just can't find the right 6 numbers.
Yeah. Trust me. I hope you do, brother. Hey, just a quick rundown again. So the Florida Swing is going to start off with the Blackjack Open. That's January 27th through the 29th. Then we're moving on to the South Florida Shooting Club with the RC Cup, February 2nd through the 5th. From there, we are going to Vero Beach, the Caribbean Classic, February 6th through the 13th. Following that will be the Jack Links Cup, February the 14th through the 19th. That's at Quail Creek in Okeechobee. And then last but definitely not least, the Bradford Sporting Clays course hosting the Florida Challenge, February 23rd through the 26th.
Jason, that is a lot of shooting, and especially in all in one state, all within about a month.
Yeah. But, Sean, our premise on this podcast is to introduce new shooters and, take that step and try Sporting Clays from a tournament standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy Toby Tomplay is a new registered shooter. He's new to this game, and he's going to the Jack Links Cup.
Yeah.
And, it's not about, oh my gosh, that's a big tournament, big money. There's going to be nothing but pros there. No, that's not what it's all about. It's more about the experience. Now, yes, there's a very beautiful purse there.
Yeah.
But it's any of these clubs, it's about the experience, and this Florida Swing is more of a family vacation.
Yeah.
Than it is just a shoot, because anybody that lives north of the Mason-Dixon knows what it's like this time of year.
Yeah.
It's
terrible.
cold. It's miserable. I don't care how into snowman you are. You can only take this cold for so long. And if you enjoy this sport, you want to get down to some nice weather and do some shooting.
Well, and it's a double whammy, because basically if you take the whole family down there, like we're doing, we're going to rent a VRBO home. It's on the beach. The wives can go out there and play in the sand on the beach and enjoy the weather, look for seashells or whatever they're doing. Meanwhile, we can go shoot, and then in the evenings come back, have dinner with the girls and the family, and I mean, anybody can do anything they want. I mean, Florida has got a ton of stuff to do. You've got Orlando, so you got Walt Disney World, you've got Fort Lauderdale, you've got Miami, you've got the Gulf Coast. I mean, there's just so much to do and see. And honestly, I wish I could go down there for like a month or two and just spend the winter down there to avoid all this crap up here. But with that said, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Right. Well, we just highlighted 5 big shoots at 5 big clubs in Florida. But guess what? There is a lot more great clubs in Florida.
Yeah.
Our very own Don Grant's got, a million shotgun sports. There's the OK Corral. There's, oh my goodness, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, Gulf Coast Clays. I mean, you can go from north to south, east to west, Atlantic side to the Gulf side. There are tons of places to shoot. Right. And again, tons of things to do outside of shooting. So it's a great vacation spot. And let's face it, if you're up here in the north, January, February, and early parts of March are just not that much fun.
Right, and that's part of why I brought up those other clubs, because if you're going to pick just one of these shoots to go to, you've got other clubs around to go practice and visit.
Yes.
During the week before the shoot or whatever.
Yes.
So, I mean, make a trip of it.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Do what we're going to do.
Spread your wings and get out there. Take the gun with you. Fly down there. Pack it in your Negrini case.
Yes.
Make sure that you're bringing your bear pelt vest so you look your best.
Wait.
What?
You bought your gun at Woolly Shooting, right?
Well, you had to buy your gun at Woolly to pack it in the greenie case.
Okay.
You got to bring your bear pelt vest so that you look your best on the course.
But you're heading to Florida, so you want the competition light.
You do. You got to be aerated. Got to be cool. Let that breeze come through.
Right.
And then when you're shooting your gun, you got to make sure it's loaded with the finest Fiocchi ammo, and also using your Rhino chokes to make sure your patterns are right.
And, well, of course, you got Rhino barrel porting.
And that too. Yep, absolutely.
Right.
And you know, when that gun goes off, you got to have your ears protected with Otopro.
Right. And you're seeing that clay target really clear with your Ranger Reacts.
You better believe it.
And that clay target you're looking at,
it's got to be a white flyer.
Well, yeah.
And it's probably was thrown by.
Well, if it's thrown consistently, it's thrown out of an Atlas trap. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, on your flight down there,
yeah,
when, you know, you're bored or you're tired of hearing the kid in the seat behind you scream or kick the back of your seat, what do you do?
Well, you need to probably calm down and relax and focus, right?
How are you going to do that?
Well, I know a lady. Do you know her?
I think her name's Dawn.
I think her last name's Grant.
I think she has the, you know, the mental training class.
I think she's got. Yeah. I think she's got the market cornered on that. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Well, that's pretty much the full circle right there, folks. I mean, again, Jason and I are kind of kidding, but at the same time, we're being very serious. Florida is wonderful in the wintertime. If you can make it down to any one of those tournaments, we guarantee you're going to have a great time and enjoy yourself.
Yep, for sure. And until then,
take somebody shooting. Get them out in a tournament. If you can't take them down to Florida, well, then take them to your local club.
Yes.
Take them to a charity shoot.
Yeah, that'd be a good start.
Just get a gun in their hand and show them how much fun this daggone sport is. I mean,
absolutely.
We keep telling it week after week.
And when you get them hooked, they need to visit our sponsors.
That's right.
Understand why we brag so much about their products, the people behind the products.
The great people behind them.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And, well, you know what, Sean? Listen, we have flapped our gums way too much. So until next week,
we are very excited and can't wait to see you all right back here on the Dead Pair Podcast.
We'll see you next time on the Dead Pair Podcast.
The Dead Pair. The Dead Pair Podcast is fueled by Fiocchi USA. The Dead Pair theme song was written, arranged, and produced by Toby Tomplay. Special thanks to the following sponsors: Bear Pelt, Negrini, Rhino, Otopro, Dawn Grant, Atlas Trap Company, RE Ranger, Woolly Shooting, and White Flyer Targets.